Okay, but basically, back to it. So we are back. We are back. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So what I'm doing is going over a couple of tax updates for you all, but then also kind of going into a little more detail about the post that I made on Facebook. YouTube, you all have not seen this post, but pretty much I made a post on Facebook as to why I don't file taxes starting January 2nd, right? Why I don't pretty much file taxes at the beginning of January. Um, and so I wanted to share with you all some of the reasons why I don't file. And I started sharing. One of the reasons is right now there are still going to be some updates and tax changes, possibly, right? But also, whenever we have a new president that comes in office, also sometimes we see additional changes because things are happening with the administration, right? So every president that comes in, they come in and wipe out whoever is working currently, right? As you see what's happening, Trump is going over the different people that he's bringing in as cabinet, as secretary, as all of these different roles. So the same thing happens. Whoever was running the IRS under Biden will no longer be doing that, right? Trump has already expressed who the person is who he plans on having run the IRS, right? So you all got to remember all of that type of stuff. So one of the things that I personally have, with being in this industry almost 20 years, is when you see that in the industry, that's also a time that we're not rushing to file taxes because there are additional updates and changes that are happening right now. Okay. Also, with not rushing and filing in January, I'm also all year round, right? So some people that you have work seasonal. Some people only work January through April. Some people, are side hustling and filing taxes on the side of their 9 to 5 job to make a buck, right? Which is cool. But some of them are a little bit more ready, right? And maybe a little more aggressive with promoting filing taxes right now. Because I am an all year round open office, I don't rush and file taxes in January. So my office, some of you all have been calling my office and we're not open right now. My office is actually closed all the way up until the 13th. So I was letting people know, if you're looking to rush and file, my office is not the one to do that with, because we're not in a rush to file anyone's taxes right now. There are still a lot of changes and updates happening within the tax systems and as well as laws. So that's just not something that we do, right? I just don't normally rush and file taxes the first week of January. The other thing too is right now you will see people promoting cash advances. Okay. Um, Again, nothing wrong with cash advances, but are you ready to file a cash advance right now? This is what I think in my opinion, what I see. I don't feel like enough people explain that the whole cash advance process. So a young lady just commented on my post, and what she said, it showed me that some people don't explain the whole cash advance process, right? So and so I wanted to share that and how that whole cash advance process works. So as of right now, the IRS is not open. All right, the IRS is not open. The IRS is not accepting tax returns right now for the 2025 tax season. Okay. What you're seeing is when people are able to offer cash advances, all right, what that means is they are registered with the IRS as an e file agent. When you are an e file agent, like myself, I'm registered with the IRS as an authorized e file agent. Okay, which means I can electronically submit your taxes up to the last 3 years. All right. Also, when when we are EROs and we can file, we also work with a bank product company. All right. So a lot of us are able to work with a bank product company, and that is how we're able to take our fees from your refund. So if you go to someone and you have to pay them up front, they don't accept they don't accept that. They don't do that they don't have that as a service where they're an e-file agent, or they don't accept that, because I do know some CPAs, tax attorneys, enrolled agents that don't accept um where they can take their fee out of your refund, right? So, and I want you all to also notice that that is a courtesy. A lot of you all who file your taxes, that is a courtesy from the tax preparer to be able to offer that to you. Because technically, when you are in a service, the same way you go get your hair done, right? Same way you go get your hair braided, nails done, men get your hair cut. That's a service that someone is providing for you. So you are paying for that service up front. You're not walking out of their office and not paying for your hair. You're not walking out and not paying for your beard or your mustache or your haircut. And you're not walking out and not paying for your nails to get done, right? Those are services that you have to pay for up front, right? So it's the same way if they accept a credit card. That is a service, right, that they are offering to their clients. So I want you all to also be clear in this tax industry, because some people, when they come, well, it's been 3 days and I haven't heard from you about filing my taxes. Well, you also haven't paid me any money, ma'am. Okay. So if it take me 3 days, 4 days, a week, whatever, to get your tax refund amount to you after I have gone in and done all of the work. Okay. So I want you all to also be aware of that. Be clear of that. When you are not paying people up front, we are doing you a service. We are doing you a favor by filing and preparing your taxes and then waiting for our fees to be paid when the IRS pays you. Okay. So I need some of y'all to understand that. Some people get it, but some of y'all come in a little extra cocky, a little too cocky, and you're not paying nobody. All right. So when you paying somebody up front, then you could come in with a set expectation on how long it's going to take for your taxes to get done or whatever, right? But when you're not paying no folks, some of y'all need to bring it down and be a little bit more humble, okay? Because maybe nobody ever explained that to you. Because if you go out here to like I said, a tax attorney, CPA office, a lot of those people do not take that. They don't offer that. They're not saying, hey, I'm going to do all of the work and then I'll be paid when the IRS pays you in 2, 3, 4 weeks. Okay. So let's just remember that. Be nice to your tax professional because they're doing you a favor. So with that coming out of your fee, the other thing with that is this whole cash advance offer does not come from the IRS. And I need you all to understand that too. The IRS is not giving you a cash advance. Who's giving you a cash advance is me and my bank product company. Okay. So I use Drake tax software to file taxes. And then I am registered with Refundo. Refundo is the bank product company that I use. Refundo is the one that is offering the cash advances up to $9,500. So some people you will see that they're offering cash advances up to $5,000, $6,000, $4,000, whatever dollar amount that their bank product company offers. All right, that's how this works. So because I use Refundo, and if you see any advertising from me and it says anything about a cash advance, that is the reason why I'm able to offer up to $9,500. Okay. So I want you all to be crystal clear on that. Because again, there's some myth going around that this is from the IRS and it's not. Okay. That's actually the bank product that's willing to take a chance on you and say, hey, if you're going to go to Patrice, I'm going to allow her to offer you this cash advance. We'll advance you some funds on your refund amount, right? So let's just say if your refund is supposed to be $10,000 and we prepare your taxes and we process the cash advance. The cash advance may be 5,000. It may be 3,000. We don't know what it's going to be. There's no way anybody can tell you how much you're going to get as a cash advance. That's actually up to the bank product company, their underwriting process, all of that, right? That they figure that out. So whatever amount that they tell us, and then I come back to you and say, hey, Miss Johnson, you've been approved for 4,000, right? And so then you can come to my office and pick up your cashier's check for that 4,000. And so now what we've done is we've given you an advance on your tax refund. So if your expected tax refund is $10,000 and we advance you 4,000, know that you all are also paying interest on those funds, because that's also something to me that I feel like is not really talked about online. Again, I don't know what conversation you're having with your own individual tax preparer. And I'm not going to say tax professional because everybody's not a professional. Some people y'all go to are not professional. Okay. So whoever you decide to deal with, I just want you to be aware of everything, because a lot of people do not explain this. A lot of people do not go in this much detail when it comes to filing taxes, because you have so many people who are in the industry and are just money hungry. They're just looking for the tax prep fee. I can make 500, I can make 700, I can make 1,000, whatever. But are they explaining things to you? Are they giving you all of the facts and the details, or are they just giving you what you want to hear? And then now when it comes time to having to pay back, let's say on average, those loans are 20% and up. Some loans can be up to 30 to 40, like 30%. You get what I'm saying? So again, I'm not only a tax professional. I've been in accounting and financial services for 20 years, right? I was an accountant. So I worked as a banker for 7 years. So my realm and mindset, I'm also an actual entrepreneur that's built a business from the ground up, right? So my mindset and how I think is completely different than the average just tax person out here. Okay. So and that's why I'm saying and breaking it down to you this way, because it's a lot of people that's money hungry, right? You can make great money in this business, but there's also a lot of people that just do not have the ethics that I have, right? And or the knowledge. And then they're just not willing to explain to you and tell you everything. So I just want you to be aware. When you do these cash advances, they all will have a interest that you have to pay. The interest that you have to pay will also depend on when you do your cash advance. Now, remember, if you are someone who has children and you are filing that what is it called? Let me look it up. Because if y'all got to remember, I'm going to give you the actual terminology for it. Because y'all remember some years ago they changed it and everybody has to wait. So all of you all who are parents and you're filing, even if you apply for this cash advance right now, refunds will not go out until the end of February. Remember, they hold everybody who has earned income credit, child tax credit, or the American Opportunity Credit, which means you were in college or you had a kid in college, right? They hold all of you all's refunds and put them in a pot. So if you filed your taxes next week, your taxes are not getting processed next week. Your taxes are going to be in a pot up until February 15th. And then on February 15th, the IRS goes through and process all of those tax returns that have been filed from starting today up until February 15th. And then they process and start issuing refunds around the first week of March. Okay. So remember, that's another reason why even me back then, why I pushed my clients from coming in January, because again, you're going in a holding pot. Now, some people do still want to go ahead and get it done early, push it through, whatever, right? But remember, That is also something else. You all also have you have that holding period. I'm looking up online the exact terminology for that damn date. I forgot what it's actually called, but they do have an actual date and word for it for when you all when they pushed everybody back. Okay. So also with that cash advance, so outside of the cash advance not coming from the IRS, it's coming from your refund or your bank product company. All right. Also with the cash advances too, you all have to remember that you need all of your paperwork. So do not go and apply for a cash advance and you got one W-2 and you know that you have three W-2s actually. Maybe one you were able to pull off ADP site and get it today. But maybe the other two companies, you're waiting on them to actually mail you in the W-2. Wait on that. Because again, if you all process these cash advances early and you do not have all of your paperwork, your tax return is not correct. Okay? You have to have all of the paperwork that you need that you're supposed to file your tax return with. And then you go to your tax preparer and ask for the cash advance. Don't ask for the cash advance tomorrow and you know you got more paperwork coming in. Because what you're going to do is you're going to mess yourself up, right? One, you've applied too early. So that means now your income that you're reporting is not correct. It's actually wrong because you only submitted one W-2. But let's say you actually made 30,000, but you only submitted a W-2 for 19,000. You get what I'm saying? The IRS is going to come back to you afterwards. Okay. You may get the refund, it may process and everything. And then when they go through and they understand and see that you were missing additional income documents, whatever refund that you got, you're going to owe that money back because you did not have all of your paperwork when you filed, which is another reason why I don't rush and file taxes on January 2nd or at all this month. I don't rush and file taxes in January at all. If I'm pushing anybody taxes through in January, it's the very last week or whatever date the IRS says that they're going to actually start accepting and that actual the filing season is actually open, right? So you'll see those notifications if you follow me in my channel. I come out and I say, hey, the IRS, I take a screenshot of the actual IRS website and I say, hey, the IRS will start accepting taxes on this date. Okay. So as of right now, the IRS is not open and they're not accepting tax returns. So anybody who is offering you all these cash advances, just be aware and know that. Okay. And also know that you're going to pay interest. So if like the example that I was given was if you went to someone's office, let's say that they say you're getting back 10,000 and you got a $4,000 cash advance. You're going to pay, and let's say tomorrow. Let's say that tomorrow is the date that you got the advance on January 3rd. You're going to pay interest starting January 3rd all the way up until February 28th at minimum, or up until up whatever day you get your refund back in March. Okay. So at minimum, that's almost 2 months. And so remember, this interest is charged daily. Okay. So sometimes you all, again, you have to be aware of all of that. So I think I had a young lady apply last year and maybe let's say got like 4,000. And by the time the refund was issued sometime in March, the fee was like $300 something dollars, right? And she immediately called me and was like, I got my check from you or whatever. I got my deposit. And she was like, the interest was $400. Like, yeah, because you took this out early in January And now you didn't pay those people back until March. So yeah, that's the interest, right? So just know that. Again, this is all for you to be informed, for you to know for you to know the full process. Because again, it's so many people out here that y'all working with that do not explain this to you. And that's what I don't get. That's what I don't understand. I can't understand somebody else's mind, so I'm not even going to try to figure it out and understand, which is why I get on this internet and share with you all directly this information. So whether you come to me or not, just know and understand how it all works, right? And who you're dealing with. And then that's it. If you have any questions, you can ask me a question, your questions. Right now, I'm going over tax updates, but I mean, you could pretty much ask whatever you want. Hey, Zoe. Yes, I am rocking the Freedman shirt today. Decided to get on live with our Freedman shirts. So, yes. Fix to Flexing says the people that just open an LLC after the LLC to get funding, then dip and not pay it back. Do they not understand their SSN still has to be on some of the applications? Eventually they will be blacklisted. So Fit to Flexing, okay, you still talking about a little bit of what we talked about yesterday. So Fit, to be honest, no, I don't think that these people really understand that. And I don't think that they really care, right? Because when you are a scammer, right, we're talking about scammers. Anyone who does that, we already know what they are. They're scammers, right? So scammers don't care. They're just interested in getting the money and funding and doing whatever little bogus stuff that they want to do and going about their day. The problem is you have so many people out here that are promoting these different things, get this 100K, get this 50K, do this, do that. And then they know that these people really aren't going to do well with the money. You get what I'm saying? Because everyone today is just focused on promoting. They're just focused on their social media, on what video is going to go viral, right? You don't have a lot of people who are actually in financial services like myself, who have 20 years worth of history, that are on here online actually educating. That's the problem. Today, you have a bunch of people who have just learned something from social media and they're just regurgitating the same information, sharing the same video content. Nobody knows anything because they're all fraud. You get what I mean? So now we are overloaded today with a bunch of so-called social media influencers who really don't know shit. That's just what it is. And so this is part of the reason why I am who I am, and my calling is my calling, because there's not enough real professionals in the field who are actually experienced, who actually know these things, that can actually break this stuff down for you and tell you the truth, right? So I don't really focus or worry about who's getting money, who getting blacklisted, who not, whatever. What I will say is, because we have all of these different people in now, it does affect those of us who are trying to do real business. And that's when I get on and then I bring it to attention. And that's when people don't like it. But I don't give a damn at that point, because you are not a legitimate business owner anyway. Right? So I really don't care that you won't hear mad about me telling the truth, because real business owners are actually appreciative that they come across my page and my channel. They're actually happy to hear this information, right? So anybody who gets mad, it just lets me know out the gate that they fried, and it's okay. But what happens is, a lot of those people that are doing fraud, it does affect us. It does affect those of us who are real in our business, who are serious about our business, who is serious about going to get funding from these banks and credit unions. And so it actually hinders our process sometimes, because of all of the things that the banks and the credit unions are going through because of the fraudulent people. But at this point, it's just it's the way it is. It's the world. Right? This is the jacked up social media world that we live in today. So you just have to really be cognizant. All right, everybody else says yes, you hear me. Cool. All right. Let me go back to Facebook. So I was on YouTube. I am on my YouTube channel as well. So the replay will be on here. The replay will not be available on Facebook. I'm gonna start taking these videos down off of Facebook. So you do have to actually go to my YouTube channel and get this content. How long we been on here? I've been on here 25 minutes. So some of you all are just not coming in. If you have a question regarding taxes, business, whatever, you can ask your question. I think I was done. I think I was done with the cash advance part as far as going over with you what the cash advances do, right? How the cash advances work, what interest you have to pay on those, etc. Right? So I think we're done with that part. Let me see. I'll go back to my original post because I had a couple of people comment on that. That's what also made me kind of just jump on. So again, y'all don't go doing those cash advances and you don't have all of your paperwork. You are definitely going to mess yourself up. Okay? You are definitely going to mess yourself up. And remember, those cash advances are a loan. Okay? They're not just giving you free advance money on your tax refund. That is a loan. So you will also pay interest on those funds. Okay? You will pay interest on that money. And so, like I said, I cannot it's on the tip of my head. I cannot think of what it is called. What the hell the damn law is that they put into effect that holds everybody tax returns until the 15th when you are claiming children. I cannot think right now. But again, all of you all who file your taxes every year, you know what that is, right? You know that you have to wait and you get held in that holding pot up until February 15th. Oh, the other thing I did want to say was tax credits for those of you who qualify for it, right? For those of you who actually qualify for earned income credit, child tax credit, the rates go up every single year. I feel like I've been seeing some posts recently where, people are trying to make it seem like, oh, you getting a larger refund this year. And so let me just say this, just because you're getting a larger refund, you should not be being charged more money. Okay. Because some people like to be like, oh, well, you went from getting 10,000 to 15,000. So now that's an additional $1,000 or whatever they're trying to charge you. Right. Just because tax credits go up, that does not mean that your rate increases. All right. So I need you to know that. Whatever forms that you normally file, those are the forms that you file, right? Just because your refund went from 10,000 to 20,000, that doesn't mean that your preparer gets more money. Okay. And if you're working with someone who does that, you're not working with a real professional. I want you to know that. So taxes are not based off of a percentage of what you get. Just because you got 20,000, 10,000 back, that does not mean that your tax preparer should be charging you $1,000 or $1,500. Okay. A lot of us who are in this business charge by the forms that we're filing, right? So if you're filing a 1040, if you're filing earned income credit, if you're filing child tax credit, if you're filing for the college American Opportunity Credit, if you're filing for, you have property or real estate, and now we have to fill out an actual, real estate form for you all, that schedule E, right? So anybody who has property and all of that, we file that on a Schedule E tax form, right? So most of us in the industry charge you by the number of forms that you're filing. And also, when you are working with someone, the form should be labeled with a price. So this way you know that that's the form fee, right? So if you go to my website and you click on my forms, it's going to have a price. It's going to have a price by 1040. It's going to have a price by Schedule C. It's going to have a price by, it's going to say LLCs start at 750. Corporations start at 1,000. S Corp start at 1,250. You get what I'm saying? So that way you have an idea of what fees the person is charging. But people should not just be charging you random prices for the taxes that they're filing, right? There should be documentation that actually shows what their fees are. All right. And again, this is when you're working with a professional. Okay. What I do want to say to you all is, if you are paying somebody and your paperwork says self-prepared, that means they filed your taxes on a TurboTax or TaxSlayer or some type of file your own tax system. Okay. When your taxes say self-prepared, that person has none, no liability. I want you to know that. Okay. So again, when you're out here listening to people that are like, oh, I can get you back this, I can get you back that, and then you get your paperwork, if they give you your paperwork. If they're not giving you paperwork, again, that should be a red flag. Ding, ding, ding. You are not working with a professional. And your paperwork is more than a 1040. Your paperwork is more than 2 pages. The average tax return on average that I do is anywhere between 25 to 30 pages. All right. And when I say pages, I'm talking about a full PDF document file that has a letterhead. It has my company information. It has an engagement letter. It has a result letter. We're letting you know, hey, thank you for filing with our office. This is our engagement letter. This is that, right? You're going to have an actual bill. The bill is going to show all of the forms that we filed for you. And then there's going to be prices by those forms, right? Worksheets, additional documents. Your tax return is more than just a 2-page 1040 document. So for one, if you haven't got any paperwork from your tax preparer, right? Because let's not call them a professional when they're not even in that lane. All right. That's a red flag immediately. Every single one of you should know and have a copy of your tax return. Okay. 2, if you're only getting just the 1040, if they're only just sending you those 2 pages, again, that's a red flag. That means that there's information on that return that they don't want to show you or don't want to share with you as to how they got you that refund. And this is another reason why I don't work with a lot of you all, especially a lot of you all who have that mindset of, I want to go to whoever going to give me the biggest refund. You're not a client of mine. If you even say that to me on the phone, I automatically say, "Oh, great, thank you. We are not a fit. I am not someone who you would, who will be moving forward with you. You should definitely find another preparer in office to work with." 1, I don't file taxes off you getting the biggest and largest refund. 2, anyone that does, guarantee that they're adding something to your taxes to get you that. And this is 3, why so many of you all get audited and you come to me after a couple of years if you go to somebody in the basement or whoever that did your taxes. And then we all actually need a real professional because now the IRS is on your ass and they're like, oh, that $20,000 that I got from filing that fuel tax credit in 2022, Patrice, now the IRS is on me and I need your help. I know. Because you should have never went to that person that put that fuel tax credit on your taxes, because I told you out the gate that you didn't qualify for that. Right? So some of y'all got to be hard-headed and you don't listen to your tax professional, and then you go to somebody else who does it for you, but then they can't get you out of trouble. Right? So this is why I like to get on at this time of the year so that you clearly know what you're doing. At this point, it's not that you didn't know. It's not that you weren't aware. It's that this point is you don't care and you just want the biggest refund. And that's cool too. Just know and understand those consequences that come along with that, right? Now, people who are not looking for the biggest refund and do not have that type of mindset and mentality, then those are the people that I like to work with. Because now I can educate you. Now I can show you some things. Now, if you have a real legitimate business, I can teach you what type of tax deductions, credits, or whatever that you're supposed to be getting. But somebody who just don't want to listen or is only looking for the biggest refund every year, those are not the clients that I personally like to work with. And I have let those type of clients go. Most of my clients that have been with me very, very long, right? In my career, besides the new people who are coming in. But it's also something that you want to pay attention to. Okay. Even as tax professionals, you all should even think about that. Who you're working with, who is your target audience, and who do you want to see long term? Because a lot of my target audience are business owners, right? A lot of my target audience are people that actually want to grow in their life and business. I don't work with clients that are like, oh, I made that amount this year, let me cut my hours at work. You are not the type of client that I want, because mentally you willing to sacrifice your whole livelihood for a government check. And that's not where we at. No, we growing around here. Okay. So, what else? What else we got? What else was on that post? That way I can just go off of some of the comments from that post and give y'all this update. I think I answered that one already with that young lady asking about the cash advances and can you change it. I told y'all that already, right? With the cash advances, and you cannot change the tax return once you submit it. Her question was, no, there's no way. Oh, aren't they supposed to fix it when you get the W-2 in before it's finalized and sent in? Right. So yeah, no. That's regarding that cash advance. Right. So earned income credit, that's where I left off at. So the earned income credit tables for 2025, I'll be posting those as well. But yes, the credits did go up from last year. And then I also wanted you all to know that they go up every year. All right. So last year, earned income credit with one qualifying child was up to, all right, up to. Make sure that you hear that clearly. Up to $44,213. So now for this year, one qualifying child will give you up to $4,328. Right. So last year was $42,13. This year is $43,28. So last year with 3 kids, up to, all right, again, up to, last year was $7,830, and then this year is $8,046. So again, they have raised the earned income credit tax credit every single year. Every single year they do it. They raise it and it goes up. So this isn't something new. And like I said, you shouldn't be paying someone more because your refund went up. Okay. That's not how real tax professionals bill you. It's not based off of, oh, you got an additional $1,000, so we charging you more. That's not how this works. Okay. So flat rate options, people charge flat rate options. Some people charge flat rates. So if they say they want $400, then that's just a $400 flat rate. But like I said, a lot of tax professionals charge by the number of forms. Me, I charge by the number of forms because I don't feel like, if you're a single person with no kids, you're not in school, you don't have any property, why would you pay the same amount of money as someone with 2 kids and a rental home. It doesn't make sense. You get what I'm saying? So I'm not charging somebody who's single with one W-2 and no kids $600. Right? You may pay $600 as a single mom with 2 kids filing the earned income credit, child tax credit, and some other stuff. You get what I'm saying? So a single person with one W-2, you may pay $200. Right? So I'm not a flat rate option person. I personally like to charge you by the number of forms that we're filling out for you. So that way you're paying exactly what you should be paying for the forms that we're filling out for you, right? If you're a business, you're going to pay the business tax fees or whatever. But people that are, charging you all like a percentage of what you're getting back and all of that, that is not correct. That's not the way to go. And I think in my last example that I gave for that was somebody like an enrolled agent. An enrolled agent is licensed by the IRS. They're the only one who actually has a license by the IRS. The IRS actually does give out licenses, and it's only to an enrolled agent. A CPA is a certified public accountant. They're licensed by the state. A tax attorney is licensed by the state. So the only person that has a license by the IRS on a federal level is an enrolled agent. Now, if you're working with an enrolled agent and they've helped you, and maybe you owed and they helped get you out of owing, or you got some type of offer and compromise with the IRS, then those are people who actually do charge a percentage in their industry. Is their industry is known to do that, right? So if you're working with someone who's an actual EA, if they have an EA, Edward Apple, at the end of their name, then that qualifies for them to charge you by a percentage, okay? But Pookie on the street charging you a percentage, no. When you know better, you do better. No. What is earned income? Okay. What is earned income? Earned income, here are a couple of examples of earned income. Your wages, your salary, tips, where federal income taxes are withheld, like on your W-2 form. Okay. Income from a job where your employer didn't withhold taxes, similar to being an independent contractor. All right. Driving a car for Uber, Lyft, doing deliveries, selling goods online. Maybe you have an Amazon store. You're going to receive a 1099. Those are usually 1099 NEC. Okay. Non-employee compensation. All right. Money made from self-employment. If you are self-employed, when you file on the Schedule C, all right, that is taxed as self-employed. Okay. That's income. That's earned income. And then also, if you are a minister or a member of a religious order, if you own or operate a business or a farm, benefits from a union strike, that's considered earned income. Certain disability benefits that you get before you were at the minimum retirement age. Okay, so maybe you started taking disability at 39, right? And normally you don't get disability until you are 59 and a half, right? So you might have to pay taxes on that early income. Okay. What's not considered income? Earned income that's income that does not include being earned per se, right? Child support, alimony, unemployment benefits. Unemployment benefits are not earned income, but unemployment benefits are taxable. Okay. So those of you all who get unemployment, when you do not have that money taxed, guess what? You owe taxes at the end of the year. If you have that unemployment and you allow them to take those taxes out, guess what? They refund you that back when you file your taxes. So if you got on average $10,000 from unemployment, let's say they took $1,000 out for federal taxes, then they would refund you that $1,000 when you file your taxes. If you do not pay that $1,000, a lot of times you will owe that $1,000. So that may be deducted from your tax refund. If you was getting a $5,000 refund, but then you got $10,000 in unemployment and you didn't have any taxes taken out, now your refund is going to be deducted by about $1,000. So now instead of getting a $5,000 refund, you're going to get a $4,000 refund because you owed that $1,000 back to federal. Okay. So a lot of you all who I know, of course, you're on unemployment. So you're like, Patrice, I need all my money. But I just want you to know it's better to have your taxes taken out of your unemployment, file it during tax time, and they will refund you all of the taxes that you paid. Okay. That keeps you out of owing. Okay, that keeps you out of owing. If you have kids that normally help you get the earned income credit, cool, right? But if you're someone who doesn't have kids, you don't have any type of property or investments or things that you can write off, you're going to owe at the end of the year. All right. Pensions and annuities are also not considered earned income. Does it mean that pensions and or annuities are not taxable? No, it doesn't, because they definitely have tax pensions, especially those of you who pull out of your early retirement. If you're getting those 401ks and you're pulling money out early, you're getting penalized for that. So it may not be considered earned income, but is it still taxable income? Yes, it is. Interest and dividends are not earned income. Okay. So again, any money that you're getting on your savings account, that's going to be reported on a 1099 interest, INT. Okay. So any interest that you get from your savings account is not considered earned income. And then pay you got for work when you were an inmate in a penal institution. So anyone who was incarcerated and you were paid while you were incarcerated, that is not considered earned income either. All right. So it says pay you got for work when you were in it, when you were an inmate or when you were an inmate in a penal institution. So pretty much if you were incarcerated and you made income there, that's not considered earned income. All right. I'm just making sure. Happy New Year, Skins. Happy New Year, Antonio. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Those are like the main things that I wanted to go over with you all. Again, if you have any questions, now's your time. You can go ahead and ask them. You can go ahead and ask them. Comment now or forever hold your peace. I can talk about all type of tax stuff, so I just wanted to hit y'all with a little something. With a little something of the information. Because like I said, y'all know how it gets around this tax time. Y'all I start seeing all type of posts and stuff from people who've never done taxes before a day in their life. So I just want you all to be informed properly. Because I eventually I feel like the IRS is going to regulate this industry more. It really needs to be regulated more, especially with the amount of fraud that has been done over the last 4 years, like right around that PPP time, right after that PPP time. Like it's been crazy with the amount of fraud that has been done with the taxes. And then this also kind of lets me know how so many of you all are just so misinformed. Right? You're just so misinformed. You're not, whoever you're talking to and you're working with, they're not informing you properly at all. So again, that just lets me know, unfortunately, what we have out here in the financial services industry. So it's rough. It's rough. It's real rough. And that's why I try to share as much information with you all as possible. Because I really get it really, I hate to say it, but it really bothers me to see y'all get played the way y'all do, especially when you get played by somebody who like not an expert or like really don't know the stuff. If that'd be the worst for me. Like I would probably sleep better at night if y'all was getting played by by like some real professionals. You know what I'm saying? But then that would not even be right if you was getting played by real professionals, because then those are not real professionals if you're getting played, right? But I think what I'm trying to say is I think I would feel better if you were actually I can't even feel better no way around it, because it ain't no way to feel better about it. It is what it is. The thing is though, it when you come to me and some of the stuff, some of the stories that I hear, or some of the paperwork that I see on how the taxes were prepared, and then the response that you all may share with me, that the from the individual who did it, at this point I'm like I'm begging the IRS at this point to regulate our industry because the amount of work that we have to come back and fix from who you all went to that did your taxes so bogus and messed you up, it's ridiculous. Because unfortunately you got to pay that. You have to pay for that, for those mistakes, right? And so some of you all are paying a real hefty mistake. Some of you owe 10, 20, 30, 40 bands because you went to somebody who told you that you can do one thing and you really were not supposed to be doing that. And now years later, when they catch up with you, and of course you can't find the person. That's what y'all always say. I can't find them. The number is gone. They don't do this. They don't do that. Yeah, I'm sure. Right? Which is why on January 2nd, I'm on here again. I do this every year for you all at this time, which is why on January 2nd, 2025, I'm on here again sharing information with you that your actual tax preparer, whether you're going to a preparer, a side hustler, a basement feeder, whoever, right? And they're not explaining these type of things to you, then you are with the wrong person. And it's just that simple. If whoever you're working with that you allowed to do your taxes, I don't care how many years it was, it doesn't matter. If a client came to me and said, hey, Patrice, I got a letter that I'm being audited for my taxes for 2021. Are you able to assist me? Yes, I am. Here's what we need to do. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not running and hiding from somebody whose taxes that I filed. You get what I'm saying? If you worked with someone and you can't get in contact with them, if you work with someone and they can't answer your question, if they filed your taxes and now you get an IRS letter saying this, and this, and you call that person and they like, I don't know what you want me to do. Red flag, dummy. Red flag, dummy. Dumb dumb. Like I can't. What else you want me to do and say? Like, make it make sense. Okay. So anybody that you are paying out of your pocket to file your taxes and they cannot assist you, that should be a red flag. That should be a red flag. No one should be filing your taxes and they cannot assist you. They can't answer a question. They can't read an IRS letter and determine what that letter is saying to tell you what steps you need to take to do next. You need to get a new tax professional. All right. And please, please, please stop lumping all of us in one boat, because we're not the same. I'm not the same as an enrolled agent. An enrolled agent is not a CPA. A CPA is not a tax attorney. And a hood booger on here filing in the basement is not me. So please stop lumping all of us in one lump sum when you all decide to go to somebody because you wanted a bigger refund and you didn't take the time to vet out who you were dealing with. Please do not lump all of us and say, oh, all y'all do this and all y'all do that. No, 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 we don't. It's a very big difference. Very big difference. So who you decide to go to and who you decide to give your information to is also a reflection on you. So please take some accountability for that. Please. Because people love to get on this internet and say what everybody is and what everybody doing, but you're not working with a professional, baby. It's the difference. Learn and understand the difference between a professional. And unfortunately, we do have some people who have an office. Unfortunately, a young lady shared with me a video last year. Some girl in Atlanta who was robbing people blind. She had an actual office. Okay, she did. So even though you may go to somebody in the office, because I used to say that, like go to somebody in the office, still, some of these people are still bogus. But to me, those of us who are serious about our craft, you should be able to tell. Also, I can get on this internet for 1, 2, 3 hours and talk to you freely and answer questions, blot out, jot out this, that. You know what I'm saying? If you talking to somebody and they don't know the answers, baby, that's not somebody that you should be working with. And it's just that simple. So don't get played out here this tax season. Don't rush to file your taxes. Please wait until you have all of your paperwork in hand. Okay. Because like I said, everybody and their mama promoting these cash advances, but are they telling you that you need all of your paperwork? You cannot get a cash advance just based off of your one W-2, and you really got 3 W-2s coming. All right. So make sure that you can get all of your paperwork. If you need a copy of your paperwork, if you're missing a W-2, maybe you need to file taxes from 2 years ago and you like, I don't know where that employer is. I don't know. I can't get in contact with the employer, whatever, right? All of you all can go to the irs.gov website and set you up an account. When you go on there and you create an account, which is basically on id.me, you can pull up your transcripts. You can pull up your income transcripts. So any company that's ever reported to you, you can go and get a copy of that document. Okay, so that don't always have to be an excuse either. Well, I don't work for the employer anymore. I don't know how to get the paperwork. Everything gets reported to the IRS. So just go on there and create you an IRS account. And then you will be able to pull up those documents. And then now you can actually file those prior year taxes that you need to file. Okay. I've been on here almost an hour. So YouTube, y'all don't have any more questions. I haven't seen anybody else. So if you have a question, go ahead and type it now. Go ahead and type it now. Don't be shy. All right, let me just check and make sure. Oh, that's me on here live now. I don't want to click that one. I was trying to go back to my post. Okay. Okay, yeah, I'm not seeing any other questions. I think I addressed pretty much everything that I could from what I posted or what responses I got. Cut that off in the background. Okay. Nari says how you give someone their 1099s if you don't have their social security number? Okay, that's a great question. So let me say this to you all. Every single person that you're issuing 1099s to or issuing money or funds to, all of you all should be having them fill out a W-9 or W-4 form. Okay? So, whenever, all right, and again, this is on you all as employers, right? If you have independent contractors and you don't have their information, um you can't issue it to them without their social. So you need their social. But this is the reason why you want to have these people fill this paperwork out before they start working for you. So also as employers, you all have a duty, and you also have a duty to get the correct and proper paperwork from people before they start working for you. One, this helps you because now you can write off that income that you paid them. But then the other problem is if now you're just waiting until January to get their social security number, and then you letting them know, hey, I'm getting ready to report this income to you, they may not want to give you their social. Right? So this is also a part of doing business. Is as business owners, you all have to get more on your paperwork, because you should not be asking somebody in January of 2025 for them to fill out a W-9 form or a social. So if you have a W-9 form, then what's the question? So it's two different people on here. Hold on. So Nari, you asked how you give someone their 1099s if you don't have their social security number. And then another person comes on after you. Okay, that's a different person. Sarvadad, man. I'm gonna just call you Sarv, SARV. Okay, I'm shorten it up. How do I issue 1099s to someone who worked for me as an independent contractor? So Sarv, if you have a W-9 form, one, if you don't know how to issue them a 1099, you can contact my office because we do issue 1099s for you. But pretty much you have to get the software. So what you'll do is you'll just get the 1099 software. You can buy it. You can go to like a Staples and buy the 1099 NEC software. And then that way you can create your own 1099s. You create 1099s, W-2s, whatever, and get that software. Or you can contact a professional like my office and we do it for you. So of course, we're going to charge you to issue the 1099s and to submit everything, but we do it for you and we submit everything electronically to the IRS. So your 1099s get printed and issued, and then you also get to file and issue that paperwork electronically with the IRS. So you're filed and the 1099 is filed to the independent contractor. So that's how you would do it. If you need assistance, let me know. I'll put my contact information on here and my office phone number and website, and we can work with you if you need it. But that's definitely something. So Nari, I don't know if you heard me say that, but yes, that's what you would need to do. You need to have them fill out a W-9 form. And next time, Nari, have them fill that out before you pay them. That's not something that you should be just not getting right now for January, which a lot of people do. But I like to inform my employers that you all are actually behind. That's not something that you should be doing now when we're getting ready to file your taxes. You should already have that, so that way you can get with me and we can issue your 1099s. And remember, the 1099s have to be issued and put in the mail or sent to the people, emailed to the people by January 31st. Okay. Can we do it after January 31st? Yes, but you are charged a penalty every day that it is late. All right. So we do like to get those 1099s in and filed before the 31st, just so you know. Okay. So Sweet Pea says, on your website, what service would I need to sign up to explore what tax advantages I may have missed out on from the tax year 2022 through 2024. So you can do a tax review, but a tax review starts at $299 or it's $399. I forgot. It's $299 or $399. But that will not explore the full advantages for those 2 tax years. So only way for me to know like what your real tax advantage or deductions are is we're gonna have to get pull up your paperwork, look at your tax returns, look at your business. You have to run financial reports like your profit and loss report, your balance sheet. And then you say related to real estate rental income, also a high W-2 earner. So yeah, Sweet Pea, to get started, I usually just start with a tax review. And then any additional fees and stuff I can go over with you at that point. But the tax review gets you on a Zoom call with me. If you want me to look at paperwork, stuff like that, that's a tax review. Okay. So that's where you will start. You're welcome. Thanks for asking. Okay. Nari says, thanks for the reply. I appreciate it. You're welcome, Nari. So just hopefully whoever you have, they won't give you an issue about giving them their social, because that's just the biggest thing that I've seen with some people who try to go and get the people's information after the fact, is the fact of them reporting it to their social. So I had a young man who had a tattoo shop, and baby, whoo, that experience was wild. Okay, it was wild and crazy because some of the contractors tried to start fighting him in the damn tattoo shop from the amount of money that he was issuing them. It was crazy. So please have these conversations up front. I had to get the hell up out of there. Because it was going down. They was mad that he was reporting 50,000, 70,000. And I'm like, dude, how would you not have this conversation with these people up front? Like, how could you wait to tell somebody at the end of the year, I'm getting ready to issue a $70,000 1099 on you? You know what I'm saying? So this is what I'm saying for business owners as well. You all also have to know your role in business and communicate this stuff up front with people. Because again, it's a lot of people out here, y'all, that have no, like, I don't know. I don't want to say no work ethic, but they don't know how business is, right? Some people really wake up and come to work and think that you just giving them a paycheck, right? But not paying attention that no taxes came out of that, right? So that was his whole argument in the tattoo shop was, I was giving you, straight checks, straight cash. Like how would you? I wasn't taking taxes out. How would you think that I'm gonna pay the money on all of that? And again, a lot of that would have been alleviated, right? If he would just have communicated up front with those people, hey, this is taxable. This money that I'm paying you out every week, I will be reporting that to the IRS. You know what I'm saying? You want to have these kind of conversations up front with your independent contractors. So again, seeing some stuff in my lifetime working in this industry, I'm trying to save some of y'all from some issues. Lady says, can I do the I-9 now that it can be recognized to issue the 1099? Can you do the I-9? If you qualify for the I-9 or to issue the I-9, the I-9 is just not, for anybody. So can you? Yes. Do you actually qualify for it? That could be a whole nother other question. Okay. And remember, with that I-9, that is strictly for new employees. So I don't know, who you are. I don't know if you're the employer or the employee. But that I-9, is not standard. If you get what I'm saying with that. So that I-9 a lot, what it does is it's a verification for employers. A lot of employers use that to verify your identity, especially when you have people that are coming from out of the country, not necessarily within the US. So yeah, I can't say for sure if you can do it or not. I don't know your situation, but you brought up the I-9, so I just wanted to be clear on that. All right, Salvador. All right, YouTubers, let's roll. I like y'all interactive and asking questions. Like I said, this is the question time. So if you wanted your question asked, this was the time to type it in. So Sarv says, can you also issue K1s? Yes. Yes. So the K1s come from doing the actual corporate or S Corp tax return. So once we actually prepare and file the corporate tax return, then we do issue the K1 forms out to whoever whoever is on that company, whether it's a corporation, whether it's a partnership, whether it's an S Corp. Yes. So we do also issue the K1s as well. But the K1s will come from the actual tax return. Just so you know. So yes, when I say I'm a full-fledged, so my title, right, I'm a tax and business strategist. So I've trademarked I'm the realist tax and business strategist, right? Because again, of who I am. I get on here, I'm very real, I'm very honest, I'm very open. I'm not going to sugarcoat things with you. But then I'm also I might get in your behind a little bit, right? I may curse you out a little bit, but then I'm gonna tell you what you need to do to fix it. Okay. But my experience, I've been in the tax accounting. As I said, I worked in banking for 7 years. So I've been in the tax and accounting industry for the last 20 years. So I'm very well versed, right? My office, we prepare and file corporate, individual, S Corp tax returns, partnership tax returns, non-for-profit tax returns, as well as I said, individual and self-employed, right? But we also help you with the financials, with paperwork. If you need an actual profit and loss statement and you don't have one, we can help you obtain one, right? If you need balance sheet, if you need 1099s or W-2s issued to your employers, I have the software that we utilize that helps create those forms for you all as well. So as business owners, especially if you're not doing your own bookkeeping, accounting, things like that, then I am one of those companies that you can work with to outsource that type of stuff. So yes, we do all of those services. And every single thing may not be listed on my site. So the website that I put up, it's not going to say 1099s on there. It's not going to say, so some stuff you just have to call me and then I can bill you and issue you an invoice and we can go from there. So I have some appointments on my site and then some stuff you just have to call us and we'll, work with you directly, because there's no way for me to bill you or to charge you on my site. Most of the time people are getting more than one W-2. Most of the time people are getting more than one 1099. So we charge you by the forms, right? If you need W-2s, if you need 1099s, then we add up and total those prices, total the forms up, and then we send you a full invoice for that to be done. So you said, can you issue a K1 and can non-members of an LLC get a K1 on a real estate investment as a passive investor? So technically, if they are not listed on the LLC, as a passive, as normally, if they're not listed on the actual LLC, then we don't issue them a formal K1, right? Because they do have to have, normally when we're doing K1s, it is based off of the percentage of the ownership, right? So if you have 5 owners, then we divide that income through those 5 owners. So we're not dividing that income through 5 owners plus a passive investor. So normally there's some type of agreement or paperwork or listed in your operating agreement. Every LLC is different. So it's actually going to be based off of your operating agreement, how you all divide that information up, how you all are actually reporting that information. All of that should be in your operating agreement as far as who and what gets reported on their taxes and on the company and LLC paperwork. But can we work with you with getting your K1s? Yes, we can, in a nutshell. Sorry. So if you don't want to, put all your information out here on the internet, we can have a more one-on-one conversation with that. But standard, that's my standard answer for that. Lady, I'm just not seeing your thing. Lady Frock, you say, I'm a business owner and had an independent contractor, but don't have his information. We just started and he's our first person. Okay, so did you pay him anything for 2024? Did you pay him any funds in 2024? If you did, have him fill out that W-9. So, and if you didn't notice, any of you all that are working with somebody, right? And if y'all didn't notice, let me also say this. If y'all did not notice, you can report your rent. So I'm really giving y'all some extra gems and tips here. But if you did not notice, and you pay a company, a person, a property manager, you can report that rent payment. You can report those rent payments. You can report that if you didn't know that. So a lot of you all, so especially people that's paying, like one of my clients in Miami pay like $3,000 a month for rent. So I told her, you need to have your property management company fill out this form, because what we're going to do is you're going to report that $3,000 a month, so that can be a tax write-off and deduction. Hello? Okay? So if y'all didn't know that, any company that you pay over $600 to, you can issue them a 1099. All right? So again, it's a reason why people work with professionals, especially informed and educated professionals like myself, because it saves them thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars every year in taxes. Okay? So it's too many of y'all on this YouTube channel talking about y'all a business owner and y'all are paying people and y'all don't have paperwork in place. I'm gonna need y'all to get that together for this 2025. Okay. So if you are, lady, and you have paid him or have not paid him or plan on paying him, he needs to fill that paperwork out before you issue him any payment. Because like I said, the worst thing would be for you to pay him all that money and then he doesn't want to give you his social security number and information, because you need that. And if you all don't want things to be issued to your personal social security number, right? You're dealing with these independent contractors. Maybe they say, well, I have a business. Can you issue it to my EIN and my business? You can fill out EIN information on that W-9 form. Okay. On that W-9 form at the top, you can fill it out as an individual with your social security number, name, and address, or you can fill it out as a company and use the company's EIN, name, and address. Anytime I am doing things for business, I put everything under the business. I don't want no money issued to me, Patrice L. Stewart. No, don't pay me. Pay my business. Pay my company. Because now it's a actual tax write-off and deduction for me and my business, not me personally. Okay? So that's how you all want to do it. All right. But yeah, a lot of people this month are getting ready to go through that. And I have to have this conversation every year. Every year in January with my entrepreneurs. So, and on top of that, we're trying to find a different tax preparer now because she's just not it. She don't know the answer to my questions. Well, hello, lady. Welcome. I am in Chicago, but I work with clients in all 50 states. Right now, I have clients in about 15 active states. that we actively work with and prepare their taxes on a regular annual basis in about 15 different states. But I can work with clients in any state, all 50 states. We can process and file your taxes, any forms and paperwork. You don't have to be in the same city as me. We, like I say, we offer virtual sessions. We offer Zoom calls and appointments for some of my clients that need it. If we need to get on, if I need to see you face to face and go over some paperwork or documentation with you. So lady, if you were looking for a new person, then welcome to the page and the channel, and we can go from there. Sweet Pea, you say, please explain the difference of deductions that apply to a Schedule C versus an itemized. So in a nutshell, a Schedule C is for self-employed. All right. So a Schedule C is a self-employed tax form. So on a Schedule C, it's going to be different types of deductions, right? Like office expense, using your car or your truck, legal and professional fees, things like that. A Schedule A is something completely different. It's a totally different form. They have nothing to do with each other. So there's really nothing to explain the differences of, because they're completely opposite. They have nothing to do with each other. Schedule A is attached to your personal tax return. It's more of an overflow, as we call it, or itemized deduction. So your mortgage statement goes on your Schedule A. If you have medical expenses that were over the limit of what you can take standard for medical expenses, there's medical deductions on there. Where if you have sales tax or taxes that you paid to your state, or taxes that you paid on buying a vehicle or something like that, a lot of things got taken off of the itemized report years ago, right? When they changed the laws and the credits. I believe Trump was in office then when they did that. When they actually took away half of the itemized report, and they actually increased your standard rates and took a lot of things off of the itemized rates, right? So a lot of people who used to itemize, working for the railroad, things like that, claiming your uniforms and all that stuff, they took that off of the federal level. Okay. So it's a lot. Charity, for those of you all who go to church and you donate to your church, that's reported on the Schedule A, right? So a Schedule A itemized and a Schedule C are completely different. They're nowhere near the same. It's no differences to discuss, because they're not the same at all, right? They're completely different. So I hope that helps, because that's about the best that I can do as far as going into the difference without showing you. I like you all to kind of see things as well, like when I'm talking. So if you wanted to, you can also go on irs.gov and you could type in Schedule A, or you could just Google Schedule A and it will show you what a Schedule A form look like. And then you can Google Schedule C, and then you will see the difference in the deductions on each form. They're completely different. They have nothing to do with each other. But that was a good question. Thank you for asking. Thank you for being interactive. Facebook is Facebooking like they do. We have a lot of watchers and listeners, but not a whole lot of comments on here. So I don't think I got anybody that's asking any questions right now. So I'm on YouTube. YouTube is asking questions and being pretty interactive. I don't see anything on Facebook as of right now. But those were some great questions, YouTubers. Appreciate you all. Appreciate you all for tapping in and asking your questions while you got me on here. I'm going to go on here and put my information again. Oh, that's wrong. And then again, I'm put my contact information on here. Okay. All right. Are you all done with your questions? We got about 5 more minutes and then I'm gonna wrap it up. Well, that give us an hour and a half. We would have done 90-minute session. Whew. That's why I wanted to get on here too, so that way if you came in late, you can just go back and watch the replay. I did go over some pretty detailed information at the beginning of the live that you all may want to get. So make sure my shirt is showing properly. Freed men and women. And if real quick, while I'm waiting on a couple more questions, if you have not heard of freed men and women, any African American, any Black person that calls themselves an African American man or woman, this is the terminology that you actually should be called. So when our ancestors were freed, this is who they freed men and women. So everybody that want reparations, you're not getting reparations calling yourself Black. You're not getting reparations calling yourself an African American. You want reparations? We all have to go under freed men. Okay? Freed men. Freed men is what your name is. Freed men and women. That's your thing. So learn that. Go do some history. Go research it for yourself. You'll start seeing all hands on deck. Speaking and talking about this a lot more. We just had a photo shoot with these shirts and it looked amazing. It reminded me of Malcolm X, especially when Zoe got on with her glasses, standing there looking like Malcolm X when we took our photo shoot in these shirts. But you'll start seeing these on the TV when they down there cussing out the mayor and the alderman. Instead of wearing the red Chicago flip red shirts, they'll be wearing freedmen. They'll be wearing these freedmen. And then also coming up is Disgrace 50 from the aldermen that voted in all that mess, this horrible budget that we have. The next shirts that you're going to start seeing them in is the Disgrace 50. Because you got 50 aldermen down at City Hall, and our city is a damn disgrace right now. So stay tuned, okay? If the IRS audits you for Schedule C proof, what do you provide? Just receipts? Or can it just be an Excel or something like that? So no, if you are in an actual audit right now with the IRS, and especially for Schedule C, they definitely want receipts. It should say that to you in the letter. So if you actually looked at the letter, the audit letter, and reviewed the letter in detail, it tells you exactly what documentation and paperwork that they're looking for when they do an audit. And so if you are on a Schedule C audit, they are definitely looking for receipts. You are wasting your time putting together an Excel sheet. You will not pass that audit with an Excel sheet. And this is the reason, again, why I say this for so many business owners that claim to be in business. It's off receipts. It's off the paperwork. You know, everybody can lie and say they made this or they lost that. But if they ever wanted to decide to audit you, that's what they want. They want receipts. They want to see the real invoices that you paid. They want to see, and not just bank statements, because I want you all to know that anybody who does taxes, and if they say that you okay with just bank statements, that's not correct. Because a bank statement does not tell what you actually bought. A bank statement just say you went to Walmart and spent $250. It's not going to say the itemized receipt that you got at Walmart, right? The actual Walmart receipt will show in detail what you spent $250 on. And so I don't even argue with people on the internet no more. I know who know what they talking about and who don't know what they talking about just based off of their comments. So but yeah, baby girl, you need real receipts. So I hope you got those. I hope you kept your receipts. I hope you kept your receipts because that's what's going to help you pass that audit, not an Excel sheet. Don't even waste your time. You need real document, real receipts, real invoices that say paid. Why can't the IRS just do our taxes for us? So actually, Sweet Pea, you can go and get your taxes done. They do have several facilities that will do your taxes for you for free. If you made under, I want to say like if you make under like 48,000, if you go on irs.gov, they have centers, they have locations of companies that they give grants to, because the IRS will give you a grant if you apply for it, right? And then that way you can't charge to file taxes because they gave you the grant. So like a couple of years ago, I looked up Loyola. They gave Loyola University $100,000. So they was listed as a facility that you can go to and get your taxes done for free. So they actually will do the taxes for you. Under 40, it's like, I forgot, I think it's 48,000. I think it's 48,000. I don't remember the exact dollar amount since I'm an actual paid preparer. Look. But again, I ain't gonna hold that from you. Hey, I'm not mad at you. You want to go get your taxes done for free without having to pay somebody. I'm not mad at you. If you didn't know, now you know. You can go IRS and look it up. And whatever city and state you in, you type in your zip code and they will give you a facility that you can go to have your taxes done for free. As long as as long as you're under that income threshold. And I want to say it's like 40, 48, 45, 48,000, anything under that. So that is an option. You just probably have never heard that before from a paid preparer. If they have time to do audits, they have time to do my taxes. Well, girl, look, they auditing everybody now because of the whole PPP fiasco. People messed it up. I mean, people, let's just be clear. People are audited anyway. About 10% of tax returns are audited every single year. Okay? Every year. About 10% of tax returns are audited. But they really went into a real serious audit these last couple of years, especially when they put that task force in for the PPP. And again, I shared that the PPP loan was based with that Schedule C tax form, right? That self-employed tax form, and so many people got that loan money, but did not file that Schedule C on their taxes. And so that's how so many people got audited easily because paperwork didn't match. You can't go get 100 bands. You can't go get 50 bands. You can't go get 20 bands and then don't have the paperwork to match it. So I know, Sweet Pea. I know. Everybody wish it was that simple, right? Everybody wish it was that simple. So, all right. Okay, I was just about to say I'm done. Here go another one. Sarv says, I want to come to you earlier. I want to come to question on the K1. If the operating agreement have all the members listed, but while creating the LLC, we will only have a few members, not all that are listed. So I wanted to come earlier, question on the K1. If the operating agreement have all the members listed, but while creating the LLC, we have, so basically you're saying you got some members that are not listed and you want to make sure that they're added on the K1. Okay. Ultimately, that's what we need, SAR. So we need to know the total members that will be listed and issued a K1. That's the biggest thing. If you have to update your operating agreement, fine. You know, you got to do that. But ultimately, what we need to file and prepare the taxes the proper way is we need to know everybody who is on that LLC legally, right? And then we also have to know who and how many of them need an actual K1 statement. Because again, the K1 statement is divided across all of you all that are owners. So if it's 10 of you all and everybody equally owns 10%, then everybody will get a K1 with their 10%. So if you made 100 bands, then everybody's going to have a K1 showing $10,000 as their income, loss, or income. Right? So whatever the company, whatever the company's total income or loss is, that will get divided between those individuals. So that's the biggest thing that I need to know. I don't want to make it hard for you, on here. Like I said, we can talk more offline about your individual situation. But in order for anybody to receive a K1, we need to know that. We need to know that. We need to know that. So that way the money can be split the right way. Right. And again, everyone may not be equally. You may have someone who's on 50% owner, 10% owner, 5% owner, whatever the ownership is, and whose ever name, social, and address, that's what we need. We need name, social, address, ownership percentage. So that way we can divvy up whatever the income or loss will be, that it will be divvied correctly. Okay. I hope that makes sense. That's the main thing. That is the main thing. We just want to make sure we're reporting the money correctly. All right. That's the biggest thing. We want to make sure we're reporting that money correctly. I know business is a lot, y'all. That's why I say everybody think business is just setting up a quick LLC and an EIN, baby. It's real task. It's real business requirements at hand when you are calling yourself an entrepreneur and or business owner. It ain't simple and easy. It's not at all. And this is the reason why you have so many people who outsource this, right? Who pay somebody to handle this type of stuff, because it can be a lot. It can be a lot. It can be a lot. I had a client who invested with some company, and it was 50 different K1s issued to 50 different people. 50 different K1s issued to 50 different people. So that's all we need, Sarv. All right. I don't got any other questions. I'm just making sure I don't have any questions on Facebook. We good to go? I think we're done. I'm just waiting, check and make sure that you all don't have any other questions on YouTube. All right, cool. And again, I put my information in here at the top, Sarv. So if you want to copy my number and my site real quick, then you can as well. It should also pop up on the replay though. You are welcome. You are welcome. Thank you for chiming in. Thank you for asking your questions. Okay, yeah, that looks like that's it. All right, we're done. So Facebook, you all have a good rest of your evening. Tomorrow is Friday. Tomorrow is Finance Friday. We will be on at 6 p.m. So tomorrow we are going over Navy Federal Pledge Loan. So again, because it's tax time, it's tax season, some of you all are getting lump sums of money right now. If you want to learn how you can keep that lump sum of money and keep paying yourself back, right? How you can borrow against that lump sum of money and then pay yourself back over time and then have that money back available to you, right? So let's say you're getting a $10,000 tax refund. Maybe you've never had $10,000 at one time, right? Instead of you just going and spending that money how you want to spend it, Tomorrow, I'm going to show you how you can use a savings secured loan. The example that I am sharing with you all tomorrow is through Navy Federal, because Navy Federal is the credit union that I use to do this with. Now, I will explain this to you on live tomorrow. You can do this with any credit union. You do not have to be in Navy Federal. You just need to do it with a credit union. You're not doing this with a big box banking institution. You're not doing this with a Bank of America, Chase, or whatever. You're doing this only with a credit union. All right. I will explain everything. I will have the whiteboard up. We'll be at my office. And so I'll be on the board teaching class. We'll be in class. Class is in session tomorrow. Okay. We will be on the YouTube. This will not be on Facebook. And if I do it on Facebook, I won't be on long. I'm probably just start so y'all can come on and come over to the YouTube channel. Okay. But YouTubers, I already put the class up. So it's already should be showing you the notification that I'll be on tomorrow at 6. But the thing that I love about this product, the Save and Secure Loan, is it allows for people to be able to take advantage when they have large lump sums of money, put a loan against it, borrow the money. So this way they can pay themselves back over time. But you can use the money today. So whatever you need to do with that $10,000, you can go and do what you need to do with it. And then now over time, you're going to slowly pay yourself back. So at the end of the term, now you have $10,000 available again in your savings account. I like to use this as a savings tool for some people who do not know how to save. But also, I like to introduce this to my clients during tax time and tax season when you're receiving large lump sums of money like this, because this is the best time to take advantage of it and do that. But also, it also helps build your credit. So it's a bunch of different benefits as to why someone may or may not want to do this. And that's what we're going to go over tomorrow for Finance Friday. Okay, so we are back. It's 2025. I know I've been gone for a while, YouTube. I have been missing in action. Y'all haven't got no content from me. And that's because the sister needed a break. Okay, so I got my break. I'm ready. It's 2025. We're rolling everything back out. Membership is back up and running. We'll be back on doing Finance Friday. I'll be back on for Saturday, Big Business Saturday. And then I'll also be doing another day during the week. I just haven't figured out which day I'm going to do. If it's going to be like a Tuesday or a Wednesday. I need a weekday to come on here with you all besides Friday. So we'll figure that out and I'll let you know. All right. So I will see y'all tomorrow at 6 for Finance Friday. For those who tune in, have a great night.